Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, everybody around the world, welcome to a special episode of East Meets West, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Team USA edition men's version,
That's
episode
right.
one, giving it straight direct to
Dun,
you.
dun,
So we're
dun,
just
dun, 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 dun,
with the
dun,
rain.
dun. I know, right? It
Yeah,
was.
with the
I
rain
mean,
falling.
I was able to catch some of the opening ceremony. It was really beautiful, and the rain just kind of made it wild. But hey, definitely memorable.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. I don't know. I guess just seeing all the little pictures and just I don't know. They kind of dappered up. You know what I mean? Like the dudes got the dang on like man that jacket LeBron got on, that all white jacket, Ralph Lauren, whatever that is. That boy, it probably cost a good couple $500 or something too.
I
Like
mean, it's no, I mean their team outfits were pretty cool.
yeah,
It kind of reminded me. You look at like the old pictures, videos of like the U.S. men's Olympics teams, like from the 40s through the 60s.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
said, right? Like the very gentleman,
yeah,
thing. But I mean, like, not to be anti-America, I just really love seeing the other nations' outfits, especially
yeah.
like the ones that really reflect something about their
The
country,
culture,
the
yeah,
culture, yeah. And
yeah,
just really, really cool, you know.
yeah.
So
I gotta look around some more because I've been MIA. But we're coming today to give y'all a preview, and yes, I do have Mister Right waving a flag, and I'm coming to put a little light on Mister Carmelo Anthony as well. I had to throw his jersey up behind us, Mister USA basketball himself. Um,
definitely one of the greatest U.S. basketball Olympians ever.
yeah, I think he could have helped his team because they could use another shooter. Why not? Just
Oh, oh,
because I'm a Melo
already,
fan, I'm just a Melo fan. I'm just a.
already giving a little preview here of how you feel about this team, huh?
I
Okay.
mean, well, I guess we could jump right into it. Like, I seen the South Sudan stuff, and I
Well,
just think they were Kobe. They were all Kobe. Like seriously, some of the shots that they were making at the rim too, some of the way they was just throwing it up and it was just going in. Especially that one where he lobbed it all the way up and it just floated in. I'm like, is Kobe with you guys? Did y'all pray to Kobe or something? Dear Kobe, please let us like what happened?
so what are you saying? Are you saying that this was kind of like lightning in a bottle? They got hot. Are you saying that the U.S. maybe underestimated them?
I think
Are you
uh,
saying they're like just out executing the
I
U.S.? Like
think it.
what are you suggesting there? What are you implying?
I think it's a little bit of both, lightning
Wow.
and underestimation. Because, like, a part of me, when I look at like the old Team USA teams, yes, of course, like the Dream Team and stuff like that, they were like really in your face. You know what I mean? Like trying to annihilate you. As much as you wanted their autograph, they wanted to annihilate you. Like that was their mentality. This team kind of, they kind of go about their business still kind of NBA ish. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
just kind of cruising along. Oh yeah, I got to play. I'm going in. Oh, I got something going on. Like I think LeBron understands the severity and how important it is because he has been a part of like a bad effort from not necessarily it was his fault, but that he was a part of that team with Larry Brown and like Dwayne Wade and everybody. So Melo and all of them. So I think he looks at it like I can't approach this lightly. I can't approach it lightly, and I think Steph kind of approaches it the same kind of way because he's just seems like he has a killer mentality right now. But
Hmm.
everybody, I mean, maybe Anthony Edwards is taking it with a little bit of a, like I guess an honor. I don't want to say a chip on his shoulder, but with a little bit of an honor. But everybody else kind of just it's not anything like seeing them play in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like when they know they have a big game and they have to play more seriously, is it's not looking like that to me anyway. And then
Hmm.
lightning in the bottle for Sudan, like they were not missing. They were shooting in AD's face all over the place.
Yeah.
Like and I don't know if it was lightning in the bottle because even like at the end of the game to make the three, to make it where you got to go one ahead. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, damn, like was that lightning in the bottle? That to that extent, you know what I mean? You would think at some point the bottle will open during the game, right?
Yeah.
You would think it would, like US would just blow it open. You know what I mean? And I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily see that. I mean, I don't know. What's your take from it? What's your take from that game?
Um, it's interesting that you mentioned like LeBron has experienced like a losing effort, or like a subpar effort, I guess you could say,
Right.
at the Olympic stage, and that Steph is kind of playing off LeBron, or kind of following, not necessarily following his lead, but trying to match that energy. And I mean, everybody, you're free to tell me I'm completely far off base. It's
Yeah.
just it's funny that you also mentioned that they're going about this NBA like, and I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more, in the sense that I feel like they're kind of load managing themselves.
I mean,
I don't okay. I think there is a reason why they wanted to recreate that Magic Bird Jordan photo with Steph, LeBron, and KD. They
right.
are the leaders of this team.
Yeah.
And I actually don't agree. I don't think they're setting a very good tone. I think they're setting the tone that they believe that
Yeah.
they are significantly better
Right.
than the other participating nations. And I don't disagree there. It's
Right.
just that you can make an argument they can, they of all nations, they have the ability to turn on a switch,
Right.
and when they do, oh my God. It's just
Yeah.
they seem to go into all these games trying to do like the least amount of work possible.
Right.
Now, does that mean they're playing down to their competition? Not necessarily. It's just, for example, Brazil,
Yeah.
Puerto Rico,
Right.
Japan, and I'm listing the guys that, like, FIBA listed their power rankings of the 12 participating nations.
Yeah.
They're like in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Even in, now you could say like, well, hey, Connor, those were like the friendlies, the exhibitions, but like you see, like even in their regional, like their Olympic qualifying tournaments,
Yeah.
those guys are fighting literally like tooth and nail. They're diving for everything. They're sacrificing their bodies. Team USA is not doing that.
No.
Nor am I saying they should
At all.
But that's like I said, like they are. This is like an extended NBA. Like they don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
agree.
I understand. They do not want to get themselves injured, especially those three guys, right? Like they all understand that their NBA title window is closing. Now I understand. Like I believe it means a lot to Steph.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten a gold medal yet.
Right.
But I mean, like for these other nations, no, they will play. They will literally spill blood for the opportunity to get a gold medal. Like
Right.
this is the culmination of their basketball careers.
Right.
Whereas I don't think Team USA, and I'm not trying to be anti Team USA, it's just you can kind of see it in their mannerisms,
Yeah.
and like I think they truly enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like basketball
it's like
vacation.
in high school, when you have a group project,
Yeah.
you want to be there for the good times. You want to be there like for the A, but you don't really want to put in all the work to get the A.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're just that's kind of how I feel that they're going about it. And who knows, right? That approach may very well work. It's just that, make no mistake, and we'll get into it. There are a lot of things that Kerr can be doing differently, certain adjustments, maybe at very least should be matchup dependent adjustments.
Yeah.
To put them in a better position. But I like the mentality, the way with which they're going. And then on the flip side, if you don't mind me just continuing,
Go.
the
Go
younger
for it.
guys,
Yeah.
like you said, like Anthony Edwards, like
Devin, maybe.
I don't envy Steve Kerr's position. Like you could tell they are definitely like each player has like their own kind of like agenda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, right? Like
Mhm.
they want to show that they are the man. In their mind, they believe they are, which understandable, right? But that's why you have those stretches where like there's no rhythm because they're just kind of going rogue and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, and to be fair, or to be honest, they didn't really fix any of that in their exhibition circuit, right? Again, I
No.
think it's just relying on a lot of LeBron, some Curry flurries, you
Yeah,
know,
definitely some curry flurries.
again, a lot of that will be mitigated, assuming Durant's good to go. But
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, it's hard to get like like a true pulse on this team. You can make an argument. Like I said, I know people like to compare it to the Dream Team. Um, whether you think this team or the Dream Team is better, I don't really care.
Right.
But the Dream Team, obviously, yes, they were significantly better than their competition. You
Yeah.
know, in
Yeah.
their respective year. But I don't know. Like I said, because of that, maybe it made it easier for them to gel.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
seem to have found a way to just kind of ease in to their roles, at least by the time, right?
Yeah.
They
And
got to Barcelona.
the style of basketball wasn't like threes and layups. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I can't say I've seen too many like post plays at all, to be honest. Like it was just a
yeah.
lot of different actions that allowed them to finish at the rim or get putbacks, second chance opportunities, threes, and just, LeBron finishing for the most part. A few other finishes, transition buckets, but they did not play like they didn't do anything like where they truly executed to me. You know what I mean? Like they were
Yeah.
not playing methodically at all, unless that was their style. But I mean, like you have the players that's capable of doing it. You have Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? Like you can feed him and play inside out. You can. Not saying that that's the strongest suit, but I mean, is it not? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned him, Embiid. I mean, he's the one taking the brunt of the criticism,
He is
of one of the main reasons. Like he's being blamed, for like kind of USA's inconsistent play, their wonkiness, I guess
on
you could say.
defense. Hmm.
Um, the thing is, okay, who do we know for sure is going to be in the lineup, right? For sure, it's going to be Steph and LeBron.
Right.
Okay. Beyond that, they've alternated between Booker or Anthony Edwards at the two. For the time being, what Drew Holiday at the three,
Yeah.
you know, um,
Which is
and
weird.
then Embiid at the five. See, the
Hmm.
thing is I guess one of my biggest observations with why this lineup is being criticized so much. There is merit as to why, and yes, I do think Embiid should not be in that lineup, not in the starting lineup with that group. Even when, let's say, say KD comes back, he's starting, right?
Yeah.
Then 1 through 5, I would personally still start Drew,
Yeah.
right? So Steph, Drew, KD, Bron, and then I would actually go Anthony Davis. Because here's
Yeah.
the problem, right? Is what we're seeing in these exhibitions. One of the problems
Hmm.
is that inevitably Steph or LeBron, right, gets switched on to the point of attack, and they are just getting burned,
Yeah.
burned. You need that secondary helper or that recover helper to come up and step out.
Yeah.
Uh, towards the key, to contain the dribble penetration.
Right.
Embiid's not doing that.
No.
And understandable, right? Like his strength is to be a drop rim protector,
Right.
right? That's why I would advocate for Anthony Davis to be, but Kerr has not done that.
Right.
So I don't, and again, that's why Kerr, I do believe, deserves some criticism there because it's exactly the same thing that's happening over and over again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Because for sure, Steph and LeBron are starting, and for sure, that problem, keeps happening. So that's the thing, right? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
even think that's necessarily matchup dependent, right? I
Right.
think that's just it's
It's
something that should be
just
done among things, you know.
yeah. Well, I don't know, and maybe we're seeing them actually missing Kawhi, or will he be getting burnt too, considering his age and physical like state right now? Because I think he kind of came into it limping. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah,
didn't look healthy So, and
Not
hell,
particularly.
Joel Embiid doesn't look healthy either, for what it's worth. You know what I mean? So,
All the more reason why it's really weird that Kerr remains committed to starting him. Um,
hmm
I'd be curious, right? Like, I'm assuming something catastrophic would have to happen for us not to advance out of the group stage,
right,
right? But once we're in the knockout stage, like the knockout rounds, like, you really gonna keep, like if that keeps happening and you're bleeding points, you
yeah,
know, uh, at the start of each half, like, are you really just gonna keep doing that,
right,
and kind of keep putting your team in a hole? Um, because yeah, right, like these other nations are taking advantage of it. Um, and we've seen, right, they've been able to either have a lead or stick around, and make
right,
this probably more competitive than it should be. Not to,
yeah,
not to
yeah,
disrespect them, but
yeah.
so
I agree.
we shall see.
It
We shall
was it
see.
was it was fun to see Jokic circus shooting on Anthony Davis too.
Well,
It's always fun to
now
see that.
that is definitely an extension from the NBA season.
Yeah, but what do you think about Sudan? Was that lightning in a bottle, or was that them kind of adapting to what they've seen from the NBA game and knowing how to attack basically an NBA team? You might as well say. You know what I mean? Like this, that Team USA is an NBA team, so attack them like this. But we know these rules. We know these schemes. We know the physicality is allowed on this type of level, and then you could debate that Team USA has some players that don't necessarily like a certain level of physicality, like maybe Tatum, maybe Booker. You know what I mean? It's a few people on the team that may not be prepared for a certain level of physicality. Well,
Yeah.
we've seen them in the playoffs kind of deal with it, and it kind of you know rattles them a little bit before they get back on course. So I don't know. We don't have time to adjust. You know what I mean? It's not a
Yeah.
7 game series. Like we lose a game, things are going to shift around. Like this is the actual Olympics. It's not a World Cup or a prelims. Like yeah. So I hope they get it together quick. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. Does KD help on that end? Does he help on the defensive end, or at
I
this
mean, in
point?
theory, yes. Yes. Right. I mean, again, if he is a secondary defender, a help defender with that length and everything,
Yeah.
his ability to kind of like, be a weak side defender, for a
Yeah.
little additional rim protection, you
Yeah.
know, especially if you are going to continue playing with Embiid at the five, then yeah, right, a little bit more, can cover a little bit more ground, contain, I should say, a little bit, out in space.
Yeah.
Um, but it is interesting. It is interesting because I mean, these teams are, you know, this isn't 1992.
Right.
There is a lot more access, both ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
To being able to scout your opponent. And these teams, I mean, obviously they're all NBA stars, but they know, like there's no surprise, right? If anything, the other teams, the other nations are surprising us, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. They
not the
are.
other way around. So, I mean, but we'll see. I mean, so to be clear, since we kind of
Yeah.
jumped into this, our thoughts on Team USA so far. I mean,
Yeah.
their group
South
specifically
Sudan.
consists of Serbia, South Sudan, Puerto Rico,
Oh,
and yeah, and then the US. Right.
right.
Their first game is this Sunday against Serbia. So I
Yeah.
guess maybe we'll put a little bit more emphasis since this is game one. Maybe after game one, we can kind of preview the following game. But obviously, Serbia, who they're going up against,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Right? My
Yeah.
God, is Nikola? I gotta ask somebody, from Serbia. Like, is Nikola kind of like Tom? Because like there's so many Nicolas, right?
Right.
Because like I
Yeah. It
remember like
is.
someone was telling me like Azubuike is like the equivalent of like Jones or Smith, right?
Oh.
That's why there's like you hear like a lot of guys like name or a lot of people with the last
Yeah.
name Azubuike. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's tangent. All I'm saying is like, man, there's like
Nah.
Nikola Jokic, Nikola Jovic, right?
Yeah.
There was like
Yeah.
two more Nikolas
Nikola
drafted this year.
Tovic.
You
Nikola.
think? Yeah,
Yeah. It's a lot.
Jurisic.
Yeah.
They're not on this team yet, but they'll probably be on the next Olympic team.
Tom.
Oh my God, there's a Nikola Milutinov. Remember? See,
Yeah.
there's like 3 Nicolas on this team. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway. So beyond that scouting aspect,
Right. It's like soccer almost.
yeah. Um, let's see, Serbia. There's a lot of familiar faces, familiar names. In no particular order. Obviously, Jokic, Jovic, Milutinov. He was a draftee of the Spurs back in the day.
Mm.
Um, Bogdanovic, who is actually one of the team captains. Vasily Micic, currently with the Charlotte
Wait,
Hornets.
Bogdanovich is on that team?
Bogdanovic is on the
I
team.
didn't see him.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I saw him the other day, like highlights of an international friendly or an exhibition. So as far as I know, he will be playing. So maybe he sat that one out.
Ooh wee. Ooh wee.
But
They better be careful.
yeah, so I think we agree. Now I believe it's the top 2 of each. The top 2 teams from each group advance to the knockout stage. So I mean,
Right.
right, the U.S. should be able to win at least 2 games to advance. Obviously, they're going to be favored
Yeah.
in every game, but given that we have a lot of familiarity, at least with their NBA games, seeing as though they are those guys that we just listed are going to be playing a majority of the minutes. What are your thoughts? Like, what's your outlook for Game 1 this Sunday? How
I
should
mean,
Americans be happy?
I mean,
After Sunday
it's
afternoon.
as long as Bogdanovich as long as Bogdanovich doesn't like show up and show out and turn into Utah Jazz Bogdanovich alongside Nikola Jokic,
Mm,
then we should be okay. But if that version of him shows up, because it just seems like when certain players go back to their home like international teams, they play a different type. They are more like of the focal point. You know what I mean? Like he's
yes,
probably second option off rip,
I
or
would. I
or
would. Yeah,
or
yeah.
probably third at worst. You know what I mean? So just considering there he's playing with Jokic, like ooh, it could get scary, especially if the U.S. plays like an NBA team. They play lackadaisical, they play lazy, they don't actually approach it with any like sense of urgency because they're not. I mean, maybe they were saving it for this point, but they have to play with a sense of urgency. This can't be a walk in the park. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
can't treat it like that or they will get punched in the mouth. Somebody's going to punch them in the mouth because those teams are still looking to dethrone the U.S. team.
I mean, make no mistake. I'm not. FIBA. I do believe is a lot more difficult than college basketball. But I
Hmm.
always, me personally, I've always felt that like just in both NCAA and FIBA, like guard play is so important. And
Yeah.
if you don't have good guard play, you're probably not going to win.
Right.
And just like you said, um, Bogdanovich, especially the way you've seen, like the U.S. has to wake up, right? Because they are getting burned in transition,
Mm.
especially against guards that are so comfortable,
Yeah.
just pulling up, in transition.
Yeah.
Like, no, and then once they start realizing what's happened, then what do? They overcompensate, they overcommit. They're sending 2, sometimes 3 guys,
Yeah.
right, to the ball handler, one, right, like one ball fake, and then boom, you got like, a pass for a guy getting like an open dunk just right down the lane.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, like, not to be like fear mongering, but the US, they need to be a lot more sharp. And
Yeah.
against this, I understand that that exhibition, it ended up being a blowout.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do what you did, like, hey man,
Yeah.
if we only took the score of the first 2.5 quarters, it was no,
Yeah.
but seriously,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it
Yeah.
was even. It was competitive. I'm not saying like, oh my god, a couple more bounces the other way and Serbia wins that exhibition, but no, like, you know, yes, the US has guys like, like Curry or Booker,
Right.
or Anthony Edwards. Like, you have a bunch of guys who can just get hot in stretches.
Right.
I understand that.
Right.
But if your game plan, and I'm sure it's not, but you can't just have a game plan being like, okay, well, let's maybe keep it close and then, hope that one guy gets hot. Like that can't be.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I
Do
we
you
talked
think
about
it's a
this before.
rhythm thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it goes
Like,
both ways.
yeah.
It goes both ways, right? Like they're not getting the kinds of stops, right, to push the ball in transition.
Right.
So I mean, obviously, let's be real. Compared to all nations, right, the
Yeah.
U.S.'s athleticism should be an advantage, and it's
Right.
not as bad utilized if you're taking the ball out of the basket each time,
Yeah.
right? And then offensively, I don't want to call anybody selfish, but there hasn't really been, like we said, there hasn't really been any kind of like our offensive harmony.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't want. It's not necessarily my turn, your turn, but you could definitely tell like there are guys that are absolutely hunting for their
For them.
shots.
Yeah.
You know,
Like you said,
and
they have agendas.
yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, um, I would imagine again, not to underestimate any of our other opponents. I would imagine this should be the most I don't know, like competitive
Yeah.
or challenging matchup in the group stage.
Yeah. Who?
But
Serbia?
Serbia,
Yeah.
right? So they basically play. If I'm reading this correctly, they play. Actually, no. So they play Sunday, then Tuesday, then I
Tuesday.
think following Friday, right? So the 28th versus Serbia, the 31st versus South Sudan, and
Yeah.
then August 3rd against Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And like we said, we can go more in depth later on those other ones. But I mean,
Who
you
beat
know, they've been
who beat,
challenged at each opponent, so I don't think they can. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think they could just be like, hey, like we'll go out there, figure it up, lace them up, and just kind of.
Yeah.
So
They're lucky there's no Carlos Arroyo out there.
he is the coach, right, of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but they're lucky he's not out there. Like on the
Um,
floor, Prime Carlos, whatever Prime Carlos
yeah.
looks like. But yeah,
And again, for people that are just majority NBA fans, South Sudan, I think we saw some familiar faces in that
hmm
exhibition the other day, namely Wenyan Gabriel. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, going crazy.
um, he did. Yeah, he had a great game.
And who was their guard? What's his name? Brown
Carlick
or
Jones.
Jones?
Yeah, Carlick Jones. Yeah, yeah. No,
Triple
I definitely
double,
remember
right?
him playing the G League. Played, I believe, Chicago Bulls. He was on a two-way for like a year or so.
Yeah,
He could definitely play. He could definitely
yeah,
play. I understand why he's not going to make, because he has a lot of guaranteed money, to play for Partizan.
yeah,
So I think he's going to remain in the EuroLeague. But, when you light up the US like that, you're going to get some NBA consideration. You
yeah.
know,
hmm
there's former Charlotte Hornet, JT Thor,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
um, who I know has not had a particularly good NBA career, but I mean, for one day against Team USA,
yeah.
he looked like the guy
Right.
they thought they drafted.
And then you have to deal with the fact that a lot of these players are looking at Team USA like, oh yeah, let me prove who I am because I belong as well, and my team backs me in that feeling, in that sentiment. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like,
actually, oh no, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's like fighting for a championship every day.
Yeah, um, in terms of like chip on their shoulder, for our first matchup against Serbia,
Mm,
remember like in one of our previous episodes, we were kind of talking about like, what did you think about the U.S. kind of running up the score and kind of clowning
yeah,
Serbia, clowning
yeah,
Jokic,
yeah,
right, in
yeah,
garbage time. He may be the easiest going dude out there, but don't think for a second that like he wants to get back.
yeah,
If you want to talk about chip on his shoulder, you just put one on his shoulder.
yeah,
Um, Same thing for South Sudan. Even though it wasn't Team USA who made those comments, it was idiot Gilbert Arenas
yeah,
who said those things.
yeah.
even though Luol Deng is the most humble dude, and awesome statement that he had there. You
Yeah.
know, um, I'm not saying his players aren't as humble or gracious, but no, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
I think they definitely will not stand for that disrespect. And like you said, even Mexico, you can make an argument they shouldn't be in this Olympic tournament, but they fought their way in.
Right.
You know, and you know, they have a couple guys also with some NBA experience. Tremont Waters, uh, Devon Reed.
Yeah.
You know, um, that's mostly it. I mean, George Condit has had like a cup of coffee, I think, with some NBA teams. You
Cup of
know,
coffee.
yeah, no, but I'm saying right, like
Yeah.
it should definitely the U.S. should be fortunate that they're
Yeah.
not like in the group of death,
Right.
right? With like
Oh wait.
France and
Yeah.
Greece and all
Greece.
them,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But I mean, as you said, I think that Team USA, the men's team, they are as well rounded as you can get,
Mm.
but they need to actually play, as a team. I mean, obviously, yes, we like competitive games, but you don't want competitive games because, you're kind of half assing it or something
Right.
like that. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. Moving forward, though, um, what is it? The do
Uh-oh.
you no, I'm just saying like any general thoughts about the other like participating teams that aren't in the US's group? Like who do you see as being who do you think is going to be there in the end? Like the final four, yeah.
I might be biased, but
I mean there's only 12 nations, man.
I might be
I mean, I'll be
biased,
biased. No, okay, go ahead.
but I think Giannis is taking this. No, I mean because how long has it been since Greece has been a active Olympic participant? It's been a while. Like they say he was
Um,
crying about it. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
didn't catch the actual game that they got in, but yeah, like he was like emotional about it. And if he's feeling like that, then they need to be worried because he's the type that certain things awaken him. You know what I mean? He got a championship. So what more would it mean for him to not only have won an NBA championship, but to say, I came from Greece and I came to the NBA, I dominated in the NBA, and then I went home and I beat Team USA along with every other team in the world to become the world champion, to become the gold medalist. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I would be afraid of Giannis because the way they're acting lackadaisical, he's got a motor that's like, oh, are you gonna act like this? You know what I
That's
mean?
the
So
thing, right? They got to
yeah,
get out of the group stage, you know.
yeah.
And unfortunately for them, that's not a given.
Not with Canada because I think Canada's in their group too.
Yeah.
Canada and
Um, oh,
forget
go
who
ahead.
else. No, I'm trying to think of who was in that stage. I should have kept the picture, but yeah,
But looking at FIBA's latest, their last power rankings for
yeah.
the 12 teams that are in the Olympic tournament,
Hmm.
right? In order: USA, Germany at 2,
Yeah.
Serbia, Canada, Australia at 5, France
Okay.
at 6, Spain at 7, Greece
Okay.
at 8, South Sudan at 9, Brazil at 10,
Wow.
Japan, yeah,
Mhm.
at 11,
Let's go.
and Puerto Rico at 12. Um,
How you
like I
feeling?
said, every team is like actually like these teams have definitive flaws,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Like even if this was a professional team, like a club team, an
Yeah.
NBA team, you'd be like, "Whoa, we don't
Yeah.
have any of this or we don't have any of that." And
Right.
yet, as Germany showed, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'd necessarily put them second. I understand that they're the reigning World Cup champion,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure that I would put them at 2. But as we saw the other day, I mean, they don't have. They're using their weakness to an advantage, which is what you would. I think the U.S. has to expect from every team. They can't be like, oh, right. And so, okay, what is Germany's disadvantage? Right, they don't actually have a true low post presence. Right, they don't have
Yeah.
any interior scoring.
Right.
Okay, so what do? Right, multiple pick and rolls. Right, involving their bigs, Mo Wagner. Right, Andreas
Yeah.
Obst. Right,
Yeah.
and they shoot like they don't give a rat's ass, right? That US is
Right.
there. They're shooting as if they're like not there, right? Whoop,
Right.
you know? Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
saying like same thing, Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yuki Kawamura, right? It's like my spirit animal, even though like I'm old enough to be like his uncle. He's 5'8", you know? No, dude, like seriously, one of the most skilled and one of the fastest guys in the world with a live dribble, and they use that to their advantage, right? They're gonna try
Yeah.
to run you ragged. You know, the world is going to go to, they're going to learn who these people are, right? You know who Yuta Watanabe is, you know who
Yeah.
Rui Achimura is, but no. It's the guys that are actually playing in Japan. Like, if they're going to
Yeah.
go, if they're going to win some games, they're going to win because of them, like,
Right.
they're going to do some heavy
Yeah.
lifting. And they truly model their game after Steph, you know, all
Uh-oh.
like just,
And that's the type of team that can beat Team USA. We just seen it with
yeah,
Sudan. Like they came shooting
like,
threes.
do you watch Nebraska basketball this last year, these last couple years? Kisei
No,
Tominaga,
I haven't.
right? The combo
Yeah.
guard out of like Japanese dude, played for University of Nebraska. He literally is Japanese stuff, man. He'll like pull up, he'll shoot a 35-footer. He's like skipping and everything, you know.
Yeah. I
So I
felt
mean,
good.
like,
I felt good about seeing Steph do that in that one
yeah,
game. Yeah.
but those teams are. It's cliche, but it's true. They're dangerous. Same thing
Yeah.
with Puerto Rico. When they know that they're the massive underdogs and they have nothing to lose, dude, they're letting
Yeah.
that fly, man.
Yeah.
So
It's nothing else to do. I mean, especially one game. You know what I mean? Like every game matters. So
it really does. It really does. Because again, like I know at the very minimum, US just needs to finish second in their group. Come on. Like you have to do that. You have to do that. But then again, right, if you're not the top seed, you're just making your potential path to a gold medal that much harder.
right.
So we'll see. There's not going to be any dream team versus Angola,
No.
in this one.
No.
Like maybe there is a blowout, but no, it's 20 points or less, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be like an 80-point blowout,
Yeah.
So,
No. No.
you know,
We don't have the best player from every team here.
but just a general question before we wrap up. And again, like like I said, we could preview the other individual matchups as they come, or if we recap a game after it happens, we can give a quick preview of the next matchup.
right.
But
Yeah.
in general, just like since we do, right, like a lot of our followers, a lot of our viewers are primarily NBA fans or
Yeah.
WNBA fans for the women's team.
Right.
Like, who, if any, whose legacy, who benefits the most from winning gold medal? Like, whose legacy do you think changes? Whose image, if
Changes?
any? Or yeah, like maybe they're viewed differently from fans or whatever.
I
Their
mean,
peers.
I was gonna say Steph, but when you say when you kind of just expanded it by adding more just perspective to it, I would say Anthony Edwards
Yeah,
because it's like his first taste of like truly winning and being around that caliber of players, having to understand if Kobe did rub off on LeBron and LeBron's rubbing off on them, then having the understanding that this is how you have to approach just being a professional. This is how you have to approach the games. This is how you have to approach winning. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
winning. Because we seen Anthony Edwards kind of go through the motions in like the last round that he played in and against Dallas, and it just it's like this will help him. This will help him the most. Whereas legacies, I mean, I guess Steph didn't play in the Olympics, so that's why I was going to say him. And I'm not
yeah.
sure. Did KD get in the Olympics, or has he been all World
Oh
Cup?
yeah.
Yeah, I think he was
Actually,
in the last Olympics, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
No, well, or was he hurt?
no, he was.
No, he okay. Okay, so yeah, I mean Anthony Edwards and then probably Steph.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Um, yeah, I actually I like that answer. I agree. I
yeah.
think with Steph, I don't think it necessarily change. For me, it doesn't change his
It
legacy,
doesn't change his
right? It's
legacy.
just
It
more of
just
like it's a sense
adds
of
to it.
completion,
Yeah,
right? Because it's just like
yeah.
the only thing
That
in
he's
his
missing.
Hall of Fame, epic Hall of Fame career that is eluding him.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so here you go. Actually, it's kind of funny that you brought up Durant.
Okay.
Um, do you really think LeBron was the right choice to be the flag bearer for Team USA?
Um, with these players, maybe, but Steph, arguably, because I think he's more internationally popular.
Okay, that's
Not
good. Okay,
that it matters internationally because it's supposed to be the American flag
no,
bearer.
no, I think that's a good
Yeah,
point in
yeah,
terms of image, popularity is
yeah,
definitely important. I just kind of thought like if this was merit based, LeBron should not have been like he. I understand why he
yeah.
he's viewed as the captain of this
Of
team,
this team, yeah,
but realistically, it's funny you mentioned Durant, and I guess when we say this all the time, we kind of take him for granted.
yeah,
No, he's arguably like the greatest men's basketball like Olympian in US
yeah,
history. I mean,
yeah.
he has 3 Olympic gold medals, right?
Hmm.
2012, 2016, and 2020, right?
Okay,
He has also a gold medal in the World Cup, right?
yeah,
So in a non-Olympic year, he still competed in the FIBA World Cup. I
yeah,
believe he leads like of all the current players, he leads
yep.
them by a long shot in points.
Yeah, he
I
took over
mean,
a long time ago.
his national career is he's more decorated, that's for sure,
Right.
than LeBron. Like LeBron tapped out, like you said, right? It took him a while to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
After they took the
It
bronze medal.
it took Kobe and Kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
So
I mean, no, just a little thing. Just kind of thinking about it, because obviously again, it's LeBron, and
right.
it's just more of like, a representative, not necessarily, representing the team, the basketball team, but if it was merit based, then no. Right. Like I would have probably had Durant do it. But
I like that. I like that choice. That
yeah.
makes sense.
So
Okay.
okay. Well, any final thoughts before game one? I mean, obviously they get a little time to chill out. Hopefully nobody caught a cold
Right.
in that
Or
storm.
food poisoning. um.
Dude, it like literally looked like the cover, like the box cover to like a perfect storm, like on one of
Yeah.
those boats. I'm like, why are
Yeah.
they like still leaning over the edge of the boat? Man?
Right. Look like a
Sit
damn
back,
movie
man.
cover. Yeah. But no, I don't have any thoughts. I'm looking forward to seeing how they play the first game, and then I'll have more thoughts based on how they approach that game. If they come
Yeah,
serious or if they're still playing NBA basketball.
yeah.
So we shall see.
Real quick then, just
Yeah.
real quick. You don't even need a big explanation. Do you think? Okay, is the U.S. just right now, before you see any real actual games that matter now? It's not exhibition anymore. Just do you think the U.S. are going to win gold?
Mm, I mean, yeah, yeah,
Okay. Then at the
yeah.
very least, then if you said no, my follow up question was, are they at least going to medal? Okay, great. If they're winning gold, which other? You don't even need to tell me who gets silver, who gets bronze. Just what other two nations walk out with hardware?
Should I be biased?
Doesn't matter. I'll say
uh,
Japan. I mean, I'll look like an idiot, but like,
I mean, I want to say Greece just because Giannis is taking it so serious, and I don't want to sleep on Sudan, surprisingly, but
wait,
I won't go with them.
I don't think so.
They
Wait.
just
Okay,
looked impressive because I know with what they had on their team, they can do more than what they did. It's just against the Team USA with all of who we have, like the
Because
bigger players, the
remember,
Drew
it's only the
Holidays.
top two out of each group that
Yeah,
advances. So
so never mind.
that means one of what like
One
your
of each group.
Serbia is staying home,
Not
right?
well,
Like that's
nah, they're not staying home.
yeah.
Not nah, because they'll probably beat everybody
Okay,
and
so you're
have a
saying
problem with Team
Greece,
USA. So
Greece.
Greece, Team USA, and who's in the middle group? Because I totally forgot who's in that middle group. Uh,
Oh, uh, so it's Canada, France, Spain, right?
yeah, they're in Greece's group, I
Yeah.
believe. Damn, I don't even want to like out Canada for real. Um, I guess I would have to say U.S., Greece, maybe Serbia.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
I'm not sure how the brackets will go, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with US, Canada,
Uh oh, go for it.
Germany,
Nice. Okay.
Germany, or because there's still a little life left in those old legs, Spain. They got one final
Yeah,
push left in
they don't
them.
have any good sauce.
I will
So
not stop believing in Rudy Fernandez and Sergio Yul until they retire.
yeah, yeah, I hear that because
But
they
yeah.
just do wonderful
All
things
right.
on their national team.
Well, good luck to US.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, hope everyone joins us. If time permits, because some of these might be like super early in the day or super late in the day.
Yeah,
We'll try to get on, do some recap shows for certain games, but especially maybe the Serbia one because it's on Sunday. So
yeah,
maybe we can make some time for that. But
yeah.
yeah, all right, go USA.
Go USA. Let's go. Shout out to Carmelo. I ain't
That's
forgot
right.
about. I ain't forgot about you. Oh yeah, and come watch the WNBA if y'all the WNBA episode too, y'all.